guilty or found guilty is up to death and or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
Well, the next time he speaks, it's going to be guilty or not guilty. It will be quick, really. I want to bring in NewsNation senior national correspondent Bryan Kohberger with more on exactly what's going to happen in this process during the arraignment. He's with me live. Okay, take it away. Walk me through Monday, Bryan.
So this indictment, as you mentioned, became unsealed today. The grand jury actually signed off on the indictment yesterday, Ashleigh. So this all became official yesterday. No surprises when it comes to the charges. It's the same charges that the police and the prosecutor initially charged Bryan Kohberger with, the 4 counts of murder and the 1 count of burglary. The case is now being moved from county to district court now that there's officially an indictment. And I want to read you this part of the indictment. It says that the defendant, Bryan C. Kohberger, on or about November 13th, 2022 in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence at 1122 King Road with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. So you mentioned it's going to be a short hearing on Monday. They'll go over the charges. He will officially enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. I'm going to be there. What I am most interested in is we have not seen him since the arrest, since that initial court appearance. All of the hearings have been online. Some of the hearings have been in secret, so we will actually be able to be there. We'll be able to see him again. We'll be able to have a camera there, so we'll be able to show you. We'll be able to see his new attorney also, in addition to Ann Taylor. So surely we'll learn a lot come Monday, Ashleigh.
Right, and I can't wait to see the new judge, and I love his name. It's John Judge, because he's moved from county, to district court. I don't know if John Judge is going to be the same as the county judge who just, kept everything under wraps. Who knows? But, what's really interesting is that we're going to hear, like, a trial scheduling, right? He has a right to a speedy trial, which is 6 months after, the arraignment, the guilty plea is entered, or the not guilty plea is entered. And so, like, what's the timing? Like, what are we expecting, when we hear them schedule?
It's a good question. It's interesting you bring up the judge, because when we talk about the gag order and not having a lot of information, there's now a new judge. So it's now going to be up to this judge to decide how to handle this gag order. Gag order is still in effect, though, so we still don't have a lot of information. You mentioned it at the top of your show. One of the reasons that those of us who are invested in the case were interested in this preliminary hearing is because there was going to be new information, and we were going to be able to be there, and it was going to be open to the public, and there was going to be witnesses, and there was going to be new nuggets. None of that is going to happen now, and the gag order still stands right now. So, yes, there's this back and forth happening. We get little bits of info when the defense is asking the prosecution for discovery, and there's been a lot of filings with that. But in terms of the time frame, we really don't know at this point.
So the interesting thing is that this plea, hearing, the arraignment, is scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning, local time in Idaho, for Bryan Kohberger. But there are additional scheduled hearings. And my assumption is it is for these additional gag order challenges. The media has done a challenge. It continues to challenge this. This is, we have open justice in America. We don't do gulag, blindfold justice. And so there's been a lot of media challenge. And then there's also the challenge from the Gonzalez family as well, who are very frustrated, with their inability to find out information about their beautiful daughter's death.
Yeah, and it's interesting because those two issues have in some ways been lumped together into one issue that the judge is going to be dealing with. And they're very, very different. Because obviously you've got the media. We want the info. We don't want to just be shut down by everything. But Kaylee Gonzalez's family has a very different reason for wanting to be able to speak out. Their attorney says he has a right to be able to be the family spokesman. They can't just totally shut him down. So he's fighting that. And then the media is also fighting that at least we get some kind of information, because the gag order is just so strict.
It has been really difficult because, people complain about misinformation, but when you can't check with a simple clerk of the court just about status, it makes covering, a process of public justice very, very difficult. And I feel it's unfair. I understand their reasons, but sometimes it goes too far. And that's what the media position has been. Bryan Kohberger, as always, excellent reporting. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.